things happen, you know? When you get married, we just went through something and we stuck through it. He got really sick and we had to have a conversation I wasn't prepared to have. He said to me, if something happens to me, I want you to know it's okay with me if you get married again. And I was like, I didn't even want to get married this time. What are the odds I get knocked up at 48 years old? 48, for all of you trying to figure it out. Then I realized, he was like, come on, take it seriously. I knew what he wanted to hear, so you got to give that to your partner sometimes. I said, listen, no matter what happens, for as long as I walk this planet, there will be one man who calls me his wife, and that's you. Because what am I supposed to say? Oh, give me Mike's number in case you're in a coma?
Tammy Pescatelli is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Her podcast, The Cop and the Comedian, is available wherever you find finer podcasts, and Way After School Specials, the name of the very funny stand-up special. You can find that available on Amazon Prime. All right, we'll do a little news, shall we?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, so Time has just named their Person of the Year for 2023.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who it is, Adam?
No, I don't. I mean, I got their 30 under 30 thing. I don't know what publication that
I think
was.
it's Forbes, I think.
Forbes.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Can I give you a couple options?
Dylan Mulvaney. Something just to get me to kill myself.
That was Forbes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think. So here are a couple options. King Charles III.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Barbie.
Yes.
That feels,
Trump prosecutors.
That's
maybe,
weird, but it's too many. I mean, I get it where they're at politically, but
Yeah. Xi Jinping.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Hollywood strikers.
No.
I can see him in a kiss-assy way doing that, but
Vladimir Putin.
Nah. But let's be straight. The man or person of the year does oftentimes. I mean, I think like Hitler got person of the year or something like that.
I think the COVID virus got person of the year.
The most impactful, not necessarily the best.
Right.
Oh, it's Barbie.
All right.
Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Mm-mm. Keep going.
Jerome Powell. Sam Altman.
Oh, Sam Bankman Altman or Sam Altman? Sam Freeze? Or what is that? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Sam Altman?
He's the guy who led like the AI, did all the AI
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. Well, it's Taylor
Oh,
Swift.
by the way, they shouldn't have 11
I was
choices.
say-
It's Taylor
Yeah.
Swift,
The
right?
moment
Taylor
you said
Swift.
that, you
I
broke
was
the
going to
curve.
say it because she's A, she's a female, so I think they like that. And B,
Yeah.
she's just completely destroyed it this year. Like nobody's had a bigger 1 year than her.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that like it's a cross-generational thing. Like when an old man, Norman Lear, a 101-year-old person, not Norman, but knows who she is, and a little kid, like especially with the football thing. That I mean,
Well, now here is an interesting proposition.
tell me.
And maybe the reason a Taylor Swift can sell out SoFi Stadium 7 nights, or wherever Mega Dome she's selling out multiple nights, in the past, we didn't build our culture and our society around fucking kids. Kids were just kids.
They had no dollar.
Seen and not heard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They had no worth. They had no purchase. They were just fucking kids. And kids, when I was a kid, were considered a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Thus, the term "take it outside." Everything you did when I was a kid, with some adult would go, "Hey, you take it outside." Like they meant leave, go outside. You could be sitting there studying the Torah quietly, and they'd be like, "Take it outside." Like somebody, you'd be sitting there putting Legos together in your room alone, and some dude would come in smoking, yelling, "Take it outside."
Yes.
So they wanted kids to leave. And, if they were in the car, there's like, shut up, stop talking. Your mom and dad are talking, whatever it is. There was no value in kids. They were considered a drain on the family. And now kids are worshipped and adored. Everyone has to fucking talk about what their kid is, where they're going, what college they're going to, what they're up to. The simple fact of a sporting event. Like, I was out to dinner with my daughter last night, and we're recounting this time when we went to Vegas, and I wanted to go see Mariah Carey with her and her mom, but my son had a basketball tournament when he was 9, and they're playing 14 games.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, you've seen 9 games. Now we got to leave and go watch Mariah Carey, who's, by the way, a professional.
Yeah.
These fucking kids suck.
Right.
They've lost 9 games in a row. Let's go see. But it's like, no, they're playing an 11th game if they win the 10th game.
Traveling.
You kidding with my parents? The
costs
notion
thousands.
of going, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, we're going to Arizona for the weekend, and you have to watch me kick a soccer ball for 19 hours? They would have been, I'm going to fucking stab you with this
and you
fireplace.
you have to pay $400
you gotta buy a
a night in a hotel. You got to
Oh.
pay. We're all whole
right.
family. The other, I think, also divorce. I think it's a different time. When we were kids, people stayed together. They were miserable.
Yes.
But so when they separated, who wanted to be the fun dad? Who wanted to be so they started doing things with the kids so they could garner favor. And I think that's what kind of ruined it. That's what ruined
I wish my
it.
parents tore a fucking page out of that playbook, but
Right?
no, they didn't do that. They didn't compete with each other.
Yeah, they didn't.
I wish they would have, but they did not. But
They competed for misery. They just, who did less with you?
yeah, like wherever. Well, they both looked at their kids as a pain in the ass. So who would be arguing for more time with the pain in the ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I was a Catholic big brother for a while. I had a kid. His name was Nate. And like on the weekend when I would take him, I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to be doing the shit I want to do this weekend. And I'm going to be paying for everything. And we're going to go see a movie that I don't really want to see. And I knew it.
It's
I did
amazing the enthusiasm that you handled this. You must have been terrific at it.
I dutifully did it. But I took him and all his goddamn friends to Not Scary Farm. I didn't even go in. I just drove around Knott's Berry Farm for like 6 hours in my car, stopped at a diner, just ate alone, went and saw a movie alone, and picked him up at midnight. And that's not what I wanted to do on a Friday night, but I wanted them to have a good time. My parents would never do that, but the point is they wouldn't be on the hook for it. Getting back to Taylor Swift. The parents now are into what their kids are into.
Okay, yes, I agree.
Just like they're traveling to Arizona for a soccer tournament. You know, now they need to be a fucking part of everything. My parents had no goddamn idea what I was doing any of the time, and that's the way I liked it. And we just took off all day. They didn't need to pretend like they were 14 with their fucking dumb bracelets on and their skinny jeans and their hair extensions. Now, Taylor Swift, she gets the fucking teeny boppers, but she also gets the fucking olds, the parents, the dads who want to be the hip dad, the cool dad. All right, back in the day, they always had pop acts.
Right.
You know, we had the Bay City Rollers in the high school when I was in junior high. The Bay City Rollers. All right. The parents would drop the fucking kids off and leave. They didn't go pretend like they were in the Bay City Rollers because they'd go, fuck that. I'm an adult. This is pop stuff. This is bubblegum. This is for kids. I don't need to look like I'm a part of it. Now the parents need all the celebrities show up. They take selfies. All the cool dads and moms are there. They need to pretend like they're into the pop acts that they were never into formally. Thus, you got to do 7 shows at SoFi.
Yeah.
See where I'm going here?
No, I got what you're saying. I see it. They not only did they drop us off, they didn't even pick us up. Another parent, they didn't even take another parent would come pick you up.
Oh, my parents didn't do the drop off, the pick up, the ticket. There was no such thing. I mean, I didn't see the Bay City Rollers.
No.
But my point is the parents sure as fuck weren't going in to see them and take pictures with their kids dressed up like a Bay City Roller.
No,
My mom
you're
came
right.
with me to my first concert.
She did?
Well, yeah, it was Blink 182.
Oh, because she liked them.
Yeah. Well, no, she didn't like them. She didn't even know who they were.
Oh.
But she dropped us off. But they had a special area for the parents.
Oh, really?
And so all the parents hung out in like some room while
Wow.
we got to watch the concert. They hung out there for free.
Like
So
they
that
used
was-
to have the area for men to hold the purses at the mall.
Oh, really?
There
Oh,
was
the
an
miserable, yeah, the
area.
couches, all the miserable men areas. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Taylor.
Yeah, you're right.
Person of the year. Thank you.
She's had a hell of a year, so I think we're okay with this one.
We're okay with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Kelsey Grammer's in the news. He did an interview with BBC, and so this radio host claims that he was interviewing Kelsey Grammer, and it was cut short by Paramount representatives because the actor started voicing his support for Donald Trump.
Well, listen, Paramount is interested in making money, and it's considered. Now, I don't see, we have to try to unpack this for a second. If you are going to go and do an interview and with the company that made your movie and start talking about China and their aggressive culture and the Uyghurs and sweat camps and stuff like that, you're going to get cut off.
Correct.
Right. If you work for the NBA and you start talking shit about China, you're going to get cut off. And you're going to get cut off because they perceive they're going to lose money. That you're hurting their business. Right. Speaking truth to power. They'll cut you off. Okay. So if you are perceived as a Trump supporter, they look at that as taking a financial hit. And so they will cut you off on anything they think is going to affect the finances, the ratings, the bottom line, the way to generate money. So it is understood in Hollywood that if you support Trump, you're then removing yourself from revenue streams.
Okay.
All right. Now, is it true? Because I think that thought is like 5 years old. You know, the number one songs on billboards are all country songs now. Trump is more popular than Biden. So is it a truth? You know what I mean? Like you go, let's just say Kraft macaroni and cheese is more popular than Acme macaroni and cheese. And so you go up there and you go, oh, I like Kraft macaroni and cheese. They go, don't say that.
Yeah.
We'll get screwed. And it's like, are we going to be screwed? Because there's more people by poll, statistically, who want to vote for this guy, the guy you say is going to ruin your career if you support him, than the other guy who's not polling as well. Now, Hollywood's always late to the party, and they're surrounded by, it's an echo chamber of their own retarded voices.
Yeah, they're canceling rodeos in this town.
That's where they focus on. But that's interesting.
It's such a rare opinion too, right? Because like, let's say if we change it and he started talking about Biden, obviously they wouldn't. He supports Biden. Obviously they wouldn't have stopped him.
Right.
But it just goes to show that Trump supporters, if they are listening to an interview with Kelsey Grammer and he's like, oh, I support Biden, they won't care because everybody supports Biden in Hollywood. So whatever, moving on.
Yeah.
But if somebody says that they do support Trump, that'll cause people to not watch the Frasier reboot or.
Yeah, and by the way, when they say they support Biden, they don't even really mean it. They're just trying not to get canceled. We don't know if they mean it or not.
Right.
That's my point.
It's also a weird thing that we are now in. There's no difference between an actor's personal life and the actor. It's like the TV show. The fact is that we didn't know what other people. We didn't even know if people were gay or not.
No.
Right? Rock Hudson pulled that off.
Yes, he did.
Forever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I had a crush on George Michael.
I had a crush on Ellen. You know?
Yeah. I mean, people pulled it
kidding.
off.
I always knew she was a dyke, but
that's
I'm using it as an example.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing now that we have to, like, the other thing is here's this probably someone who's probably 2 decades, 3 decades younger than Kelsey, stopping him mid-sentence.
Well, do we know? Is there a tape of it? Do we
No, but
how is there not a tape of it if he's being interviewed?
Oh, here it is.
By the BBC.
Paramount blocked
I've got to ask you about politics before we finish. You mentioned Roseanne early on, who had a great comeback, but also was a Trump supporter. You were a Trump supporter. I'm fascinated to know if you still are.
I am, and I'll let that be the end of it.
That was the end of it. Though I have to say, actually, Kelsey Grammer himself was perfectly happy to go on talking about it. The Paramount Plus PR people, less happy that he talked about it at some length.
They'll be really thrilled that you mentioned that.
I'm really thrilled. Anyway, they decided that we'd had plenty of time for our interview. But I should stress
But these are the people that never stop talking about freedom.
Well,
right?
Paramount
Remember
Plus
freedom?
blocked me from putting my own clips up. And when you look at it on YouTube, it says this copyright violation by Paramount Plus and Dom Irrera. They think all Italian people are the same.
Dom Irrera?
Yeah, they said it was owned by Dom Irrera because apparently somebody just went through and went, oh, Italian, click.
Are you not his sister?
Yeah, I actually am him. It's a weird,
you are
yeah.
him.
I mean, he transitioned and.
Yeah, if you want to insult a woman, say she looks like Dom Irrera.
Well, it just even the material. I was actually complimented by that you thought my material was his. Okay, but the fact is I had to literally write to YouTube and they lifted the thing right away. But I go, will you please let Paramount Plus know that I know Dom Irrera. I'm friends with Dom Irrera, but I am no Dom Irrera. We are not all the same. So they're trying to be so progressive and they're just backwards.
Yeah, well, they're trying. Okay, they never stop talking about freedom, and they never stop talking about totalitarians and dictators or whatever. But they act that way. They would like any opinion that doesn't mirror their own taken down and deplatformed. I don't know why that's not abundantly clear to everybody. I wouldn't mind it if you just said what you were doing, which is, I disagree, I hate Trump, I love Biden, I'm going to do everything I can. But they wag their finger at you and call you a socialist or you a dictator or you a whatever, and then they hop on top of Mount Pius and talk about freedom while trying to deplatform you from your opinions.
Yeah,
That's
It's all
fucking
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to combat it. You have to tell them to shut the fuck up. But a lot of voices need to come out.
Well, that's the thing. People need to come out in strength. I mean, literally, I live in Pennsylvania. When everybody was getting fired because they wouldn't get the vaccine, I'm standing in Walmart behind a group of Amish people who hadn't been vaccinated for smallpox and polio. And I'm like, they blew their science experiment. There are hundreds, if not thousands of Amish in 19 states in this country. And people are walking around going, you, the firemen in New York who didn't take the vaccine, are pushing COVID. You're letting them in with their butter to Walmart. They just don't think the whole picture through. They talk and they talk and they talk and they don't have the full picture in front of them.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with science. It's just if you said, I don't want to take the vaccine, then you went Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
You told them you're a Trump supporter. In their mind, that's what they thought, and that's why it needed to be canceled. It had nothing to do with the vaccine.
Yeah, no, it was a
And
real
masks
thing.
had nothing to do with masks. Nothing had anything to do with anything. They said, we're shutting schools. I said, open the schools. And they said, oh, you support Trump. So now we're coming after you.
Yeah.
That was the entire experiment. That's how it worked. That's where they got their fervor.
What's that called? Trump hysteria, where they just really
Derangement syndrome.
Derangement syndrome,
Yes.
where they're just blaming.
It's
if there's a
awesome.
flood, it's Donald Trump's fault. What? There was an earthquake? It was his fault.
All right, one more, Chris.
So Diddy, Sean
Oh,
Combs.
Lord.
Yeah, he's been in the news the last few weeks. Started off with his ex-girlfriend Cassie filing a lawsuit over sexual assault, which they settled to their, quote, mutual satisfaction almost immediately.
100 million.
No.
Yes. It was
that-
100
They settled
million.
for $100 million?
100 million.
Hold on.
That's the absolute fact.
He wrote her a check for $100 million?
100 million. That's a lot of
I'm not
hush
here
money.
to insult
That's
you,
shut
but
the fuck.
That
Look it up.
sounds
I-
a little dubious.
I didn't see that, but
That's what it. That's. I'm pretty. That it could be
mean-
what she sued him for.
I don't see that. I
Well,
don't see that
there's
as
a
a
difference.
But I'm pretty sure that's. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Well, I don't know
He
if that's a
wrote
mutual
her a
satisfaction.
check for $100 million?
Take a look. Look it up. I'm not. Don't think I'm lying. I could be wrong. I'm.
I don't think you're
fallible.
lying. I do not think you're lying. But I
just-
think you're wrong, but not
Well,
lying.
right.
I would never think you're
I
lying.
believe it. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
Speak your truth
maybe
to power.
That's truth about.
I don't think it published, but she could have sued him for 100 and settled for 4.5.
That's true.
Is what I'm saying. That
Yeah, but
happens
anyway,
a lot.
so that lawsuit has been settled. But then other
Dawson,
women,
look it up. Maybe it's out there.
other women have been coming out, and now, today He's been accused of rape in a new lawsuit by a woman who says Combs and 2 other men raped her nearly 2 decades ago when she was 17.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's, anybody who changes their name that often, they're running from something.
Yeah.
Right.
So we knew.
That's right. Those are aliases.
That's right there. That's what
right
they
there.
are.
It's right in the name change.
So this woman, she's identified as Jane Doe. She said she was still in high school when she was gang raped and sex trafficked by Combs and 2 associates, according to the complaint filed in Manhattan. The woman said she first met Combs and Harve Pierre, the president of Bad Boy Records, at a lounge in Detroit in 2003. She claims that Pierre convinced her to accompany him, a third man, and another member of the group on a private jet back to Combs' recording studio in New York.
She said, no, I have to catch the bus.
I'm still mad at him for ripping off that horrible Sting police song and pointing to the ceiling when Puffy died. That's a crime that affected me.
But then Sting came out and sang it with him at the MTV Awards.
That's the biggest rip-off of a... Dawson,
his
you
friend
find
just
out
died.
anything?
So far, we're seeing 100 mil.
100 mil.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Sued for 100 mil or cut a check for 100?
Settled.
Yeah.
Settled
That's
for
what we're saying.
$100 million. I owe you an apology.
Yeah, that's okay.
You'll take it off the air.
Yes.
She wrote a check for $100 million?
That's what I'm saying.
And they're both satisfied with this?
That's not mutual.
He's not.
Wow.
Because if that's what you're settling for.
To be fair, just so people understand, like legally how this works, he probably didn't cut her a check for $100 million. He probably worked something out in quarters and years or something.
For sure.
Like 5 years
yeah,
to
who
pay
would
off.
want that's
But
yeah.
she got $20 million up front, and then he's got another 5 years to pay the other 80 off.
But I'd be careful to make sure that it is that it goes to her generations after her, because that's the type of crazy money.
Well, obviously.
What article? Where is this, Dawson? It's like, is it in the Post or the Times, or where's these articles coming from?
Yeah, I thought I just read it on TMZ.
It's on Pescatelli.com.
Yeah.
We moved on from that source. We're still looking.
What was
I'm
that?
just Googling it.
Because it proved
what
me
was that?
right.
Emmy grabbed it.
God forbid
Emmy
that
grabbed
Tammy
it.
might possibly
And
be correct.
He doesn't have it up anymore, so I don't know the source that came from. But
Ah,
we're
what's
still
up?
looking
Pull
it
it
up.
There's
back
a
up.
thing that you just Google. It just say Puffy, 100 million settlement.
All right, anyway.
Well, anyway, so the story's pretty horrific as they raped this young
So,
girl.
I mean, he's going to jail.
Well, so he's denying these allegations, of course, and he posted on Instagram just this statement: "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth."
Which name?
Yeah, that's right. Which name? Some of them are better than others.
I think he needs to
Yeah,
get a new one.
Why did Sting endorse that fucking rip-off of his song?
Because
Yuck.
that tantric sex that he and his wife have been working
Yes.
on probably stopped the blood flow
Does
to
this
his
make-
brain.
Mm.
Well, does
And
this
he's
make
just
you
not.
upset that I first heard "I'll Be Missing You" before "I'll Be Watching You"? Like that's
Okay.
how I was introduced to that song.
Okay.
That's heartbreaking.
Okay, the original song sucks as well.
Okay.
It's not even a good song. The Police have shitty songs that get played. They have good songs that don't get played nearly as much as the shitty songs. It was never a good song. It was like a Diddy, pardon the pun. And then he ripped it off and then turned it into, all right. Dawson,
So
any
CBS,
sources?
CBS is not reporting a settlement. It seems that the 100 million thing is largely unconfirmed, but that's the only information as far as a monetary amount that we are seeing.
Oh, so where did
But
Emmy
they're not
find
from
the 100?
valuable news sources.
When did Emmy? Where was Emmy's 100 million from? He'll tell you. I don't know. Just shout at him.
He just says some other news site.
They don't label their news site, or just tell them that-
Again, it's gone.
It's from
It's
it's
gone.
a none of your business.
gone.
It's in the ether.
It's
now.
from
It's done.
He is doing this on his phone. I'm also looking.
He's on
up.
Don't
Snapchat.
worry about
where
where I
I
get my
found-
information
where I
All
from.
right,
found
hold on.
100
Let's
million.
not
There
everyone.
seems
Hold
to be
on.
gossip
Don't
stuff.
stop talking. Don't everyone talk at one time. It's stupid and it's bad. All right. I'm just curious. That's all.
There are 4 videos that come up. Breaking: Sean Diddy Combs pays Cassie $100 million.
All right.
That just says it's from somebody's TikTok channel, but there are several of these.
All right.
So
No real valuable news source that we can.
Yeah.
say.
I can't
Besides
believe
me.
it. I can't believe it's $100 million, but it's a fucking lot. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's see. David Fishoff's going to come in here. Can I tell you, I felt stupid. David, who I did the comedy fantasy camp with, but, he created the rock and roll fantasy camp, and he also worked back in the day with everyone, but Ringo Starr, right?
Yeah.
And the All-Star Band. And I was sitting around backstage in North Dakota at the theater I was playing last week, and I was just walking around, and you look at all the posters of all the bands and all the comedians and all everyone who's been there before you. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at a poster for Ringo's All-Star Band, and I've, of course, known about Ringo's All-Star Band for 35 years. And I stopped, I looked at the poster, and I said, Ringo's All-Star Band. And then I went, oh, he spells All-Star with 2 R's. Oh, I get it. I've been walking around the planet for 40 years not getting the All-Star
double R.
joke of Ringo Starr double R. I feel foolish. And now I owe David an apology.
Well, you're an auditory guy. So.
I'm an auditory guy. I never read anything.
That's right.
So I
There you
didn't
go.
think you'd
Feel
have
that,
to
though.
read it. But backstage in Fargo last week, I found myself.
That's the Mandela effect, isn't it?
That's right.
That's what that is right there, where we think it's one thing. The perception is actually different than the truth, but we believe it, just like the 100 million.